Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Orange and Blue Shirt podcast. This is a podcast about the Orange and Blue of the New York Mets and the Blueshirts on Broadway, the New York Rangers. I'm your host, Luke. You can find me on Twitter at LukesPod. That's at LUKESPOD. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my podcast wherever you're listening, whether that be Anchor, Spotify, now Apple Podcasts, wherever. You can find me by searching the Orange and Blue Shirt podcast. On this episode, we'll talk on the Mets side of things. We'll talk about the start of spring training. Finally, we have some games to talk about. Later on in the episode, we'll talk about the Rangers game since the last episode, and of course the Eichel trade rumors. Alright, so we finally have Mets baseball in the form of spring training, starting with a 2-0 loss to the Marlins. Again, it's only spring training, so don't take too much stock into it. Obviously, we got blanked out, so we won't look at the hitting that much, but the pitching looked good. We had Says Pucky, Sean Reed Foley, and a few more. But all in all, the game in the Mets perspective, besides seeing Lindor for the first time, even though he just grounded out, I love seeing him in orange and blue. And I hope to see him in black jerseys later on. The game was pretty... it was okay. It wasn't great, but pitching was a positive. The second game of the spring was a 2-0 win against the Astros on my birthday. We had two solo shots from McNeil and Amora, so our bats showed some life early in spring training. We also silenced the Astros bats with a splendid 2 innings from Stroman. Showed no signs of rust after not pitching for over a year now. We saw a pretty shaky inning from Yamamoto. We had a great inning from a hidden gem to look out for, Sam McWilliams. So, a good win. Anyway, the most recent game, as of recording, was a 14-9 loss against the Cardinals. A great game for Pilar offensively, as well as Guillorme and the left fielder Ferguson. We saw a hit from Mauricio, so that was good, and Beatty, so that was good. Obviously not a great game for pitching, giving up 14 runs, but Colome did well, but that's about it. It wasn't a great game for the Mets pitching-wise, giving up 14 runs, but it's only spring training, so I wouldn't get too invested. But it's just great to have baseball back, you know. I've been missing it, to say the least, so... Also, before we get into the Rangers part of things, I know it's a quick thing, but I just want to say I got Mets home opener tickets for my birthday, so I am stoked to go to that. Finally, I get to go baseball in person after a year. Speaking of my birthday, the Rangers won 3-2 against Buffalo on it, and like I said before, the Mets won on my birthday as well. Man City, my favorite soccer team, won on my birthday as well. But the Knicks had to ruin the perfect day by taking the L, so same old things there. But we had a lot of games since the last episode for the Rangers, so let's just get straight into it. The Rangers had a 4-3 loss to the Flyers. This was the Kreider hat-trick game, and bro, just give him the C already. He deserves it. Mika had a good game, so did Fox. This wasn't a bad game. We did lose, but we kept fighting, and this game wasn't really a frustrating loss, in my opinion. We showed good signs throughout the whole game. Shesty made 35 saves. We're just unlucky. In that game, if we get a few more bounces, we win. So to me, it's fine. The next two games were against the Bruins. We had a 6-2 win and a 4-1 loss. In the win, we had Booch, Blackwell, Phil DiGiuseppe, Kreider, Stromer, hell, even how do you say his name? Brzezinski got in on this one. It was fun seeing us embarrass Marchand's rat-looking ass and his crew. So that was good. Georgiev had a great game. It was all around just a great win. But of course, we had to get pulled straight back down to earth in the next game, with them winning the next one 4-1 to remind us, yes, they are still a good team. But hey. Colin the Goat Blackwell got a goal, so not all is too bad. So, alright, to the Buffalo game. 3-2 win. Booch got a goal. and basically gave a free one to Lafreniere. Just was going in anyway, I think, and it's hit off Laffy. And Captain Crides had that one that went in somehow. It's a nice little snapshot. Shesty had a good game, even though he gave up 2 goals, and one of them was assisted by Jack Eichel. Speaking of Jack Eichel, let's go on to the rumors and what it would take to get him. Well, yes, Buffalo have to be more realistic in their expectations of what they can get for Eichel. The Rangers would still have to give up a lot to get him. Buffalo thinks the package has to start with either Kakko or Lafreniere, and if that's the case for the Rangers, I say no. What the package could start with is Mika Zibanejad. Mika hasn't been the best, but is still an established forward and would be the centerpiece of the Rangers package to the Sabres. Next, I add Morgan Barron, a future center that would help the Sabres rebuild after they give up Eichel. And I throw in 2 first-rounders. So I think Buffalo wins this trade. Like, they get Mika now, they get Barron and 2 first-rounders later. I mean, realistically, I can see Krasov going the other way instead of Mika. And then maybe you throw in Braden Schneider, who we just saw got called up, or signing his entry-level contract. But for now, I think that's an okay package for Eichel, who seems close to being traded. And by close, I mean like it's like 10% of happening, 10% that's going to happen. But the Rangers seem to be the most likely to get him, like the front runner per se. And so if we are, I'm all in. As long as it doesn't ruin our future, I'm all for it. Anyway, that was just a quick little episode. I'll try to go more in depth in a future one about both opening day for the Mets around then, and I'll do another Rangers only episode soon anyway. So just give this video a like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening anywhere else on my podcast, follow, subscribe to the podcast, whatever it is, and share it with your friends if you feel necessary. Follow me and give me feedback on Twitter at LukesPod. Sorry for the quick one, but I'm your host Luke, and I'll see you in the next one.